Page 61. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I'm Jiang Chen. What do you want? Jiang Chen asked, his eyes wide. Hey, that's the Pope of the Spirit Hall you're talking to, kid. Someone snapped, clearly offended by Jiang Chen's tone. Bibi Dong waved a hand dismissively. It's fine. Then, turning back to Jiang Chen, she asked, what happened to your face? Jiang Chen touched it, it still stung a little. Got into a fight. Bibi Dong looked thoughtful. She gestured to someone. Heal him. A beautiful, middle-aged woman stepped forward. As a contra-level healing soul master, tending to Jiang Chen's minor injuries would be a cinch. In the blink of an eye, Jiang Chen was back to normal. The speed of the healing astonished him. This was his first time experiencing a soul master's healing powers. His fair skin, cute, upturned nose, and big, dark eyes were striking. Bibi Dong nodded slowly. Show us your martial soul, would you? She asked softly. Here it comes. Jiang Chen thought to himself. He didn't really have a choice. He summoned his martial soul. The hulking zombie, green-faced and with long fangs, materialized behind Jiang Chen. It wasn't as imposing as it had been during the awakening, but its presence was still palpable. Everyone gasped, studying Jiang Chen's martial soul with keen interest. A humanoid martial soul. They'd never seen anything like it. The Spirit Hall had been around for ages and recorded thousands of martial souls, but none like Jiang Chen's. Even though the zombie's aura was intimidating, they figured it was comparable to the top-tier martial souls, like the Clear Sky Hammer or the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. To call this zombie martial soul god level felt like a real stretch. Several elders shook their heads, thinking Bibi Dong's summons had been a waste of time. They'd witnessed the power of an angel martial soul firsthand. This odd zombie martial soul didn't even come close. Even Hulayina felt a pang of disappointment. She'd trusted Bibi Dong's judgment, thinking Jiang Chen truly possessed a god-level martial soul. But it looked to be just another top-tier one. Hers might be more effective. Even, as they say, the bigger the expectations, the bigger the letdown. That's exactly what these people were going through. Pope, one of the elders grumbled, this kid's martial soul is nothing like a god-level one. He'd been on the verge of a breakthrough and focusing all his energy on cultivating, but Bibi Dong had summoned him for this? All this for a run-of-the-mill, top-tier martial soul. Sending a contra-level deacon would have been overkill, let alone hauling a bunch of elders out here. Jiang Chen noticed their disappointed faces and felt a little deflated. But maybe it was for the best. If he declined to join the Spirit Hall, they wouldn't push him. Bibi Dong, however, didn't seem disappointed at all. In fact, she was smiling even more than before. She saw something the others didn't. While she was a little disappointed that Jiang Chen's martial soul wasn't god-level, the aura of that zombie had her hooked. It reeked of bloodlust, malice, and resentment, making her feel a strange kinship. She was drawn to it. Both of her spirits were inherently evil spider spirits. Finding a spirit more wicked than hers on the Douluo Continent was a tall order, but she'd found one today. Jiang Chen's martial soul was just as, if not more, evil than her spider spirits. The more she sensed it, the more unnerved she became. This martial soul seemed to hold some dark, terrible secret she couldn't begin to fathom. She even had a hunch that Jiang Chen's martial spirit was better suited to the mysterious inheritance she'd come into contact with than her own. Dismiss your martial soul, Bibi Dong said gently. Jiang Chen complied. Can I leave now? He asked innocently. Bibi Dong paused, then smiled. Not so fast. There are still a few things I'd like to discuss with you. She turned to the elders. You can go. Soon, only Bibi Dong, Hulayina, and Jiang Chen remained in the hall. What does she want with me? Jiang Chen wondered. Why send everyone else away? Hulayina didn't know what her teacher was planning, but the next moment, her jaw dropped. Bibi Dong actually walked up to Jiang Chen and squatted down. She gently stroked his hair, smiling sweetly and kindly. Hulayina covered her mouth, her beautiful fox eyes wide with disbelief. Was this really the imposing, iron-fisted Pope everyone revered. Even with her own disciple, she'd never been this affectionate. A shiver ran down Jiang Chen's spine. He stared at Bibi Dong, so close, her smile so warm and genuine, she was so breathtaking he could barely breathe. "I'm the Pope of the Spirit Hall. Would you be willing to become my student?" That Hulaina almost cried out. She'd endured brutal training in the death concentration camp, fought tooth and nail to survive, and finally been accepted as Bibi Dong's disciple. But this kid? Bibi Dong took a liking to him on sight. Hulaina felt a surprising pang of jealousy. Why does this kid have it so easy? But Jiang Chen was the one who was truly floored. Becoming Bibi Dong's student meant worshipping her as a teacher. It was something he'd never even considered. Page 62. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When it comes to Soul Master training, Spirit Hall is the undisputed champion, but becoming Bibi Dong's student meant he'd be locked in as Tang San's future enemy. Unless Jiang Chen became incredibly powerful, he might end up like Bibi Dong and Qian Renxue in the original story. Amidst Hulaina's shock and Bibi Dong's hopeful gaze, Jiang Chen cautiously asked, "Can I say no?" Chapter 48 Farewell to Nodding City. The words had barely left his mouth when Hulaina's mind was racing. How could he refuse? Does he even have the nerve to refuse? Has he lost his mind? Bibi Dong's gentle smile wavered momentarily. Why? She asked immediately. Jiang Chen looked troubled. "I don't want to leave home, is that okay?" He didn't dare reveal the real reason, so he gave a childish excuse. Bibi Dong smiled brightly. "When you get stronger, you'll bring glory to your hometown, and they'll be proud. Follow me, and you'll make that happen quickly." "I really don't want to go." Bibi Dong's expression turned cold, and a wave of killing intent washed over Jiang Chen. "If you don't agree, I'll kill you right now." Jiang Chen felt like he'd been plunged into an ice bath. The killing intent was terrifying. He hadn't expected Bibi Dong to be so ruthless, not even sparing a child. What could he do? Even if he brought them all to Holy Soul Village, Tang Hao might not be able to protect him. Tang Hao's old injuries made him unable to fight for long, and a fight in Holy Soul Village would hurt everyone. Besides, Tang Hao had Tang San to worry about and would never confront Spirit Hall directly. Even if Tang Hao could save him, he'd take him and Tang San away. This Douluo Continent wasn't the original. Without the original storyline, Tang San might not achieve anything, making Tang San's side pointless. Jiang Chen's heart sank. He seemed to have no choice but to follow Bibi Dong. If he was going to follow Bibi Dong, he had to be ready to become Tang San's enemy. Tang San. The thought of killing Tang San suddenly crossed Jiang Chen's mind. Seeing Jiang Chen standing silently, Bibi Dong frowned. "Do you choose to die, or choose to follow me?" Jiang Chen snapped back to reality, pushed away the chaotic thoughts in his head, and respectfully said, "Teacher." Bibi Dong's icy face blossomed into a smile. "You will follow me from now on." She took Jiang Chen's hand and walked outside, with Hulaina trailing behind, looking conflicted. She'd unexpectedly gained a junior brother on this trip. Bibi Dong's hands were soft and warm. That was Jiang Chen's first impression. Outside, everyone waited quietly. Bibi Dong looked around. "Jiang Chen will be my second disciple from now on." The elders didn't react much. The Pope accepting disciples was normal. But Cece and Su Yuntao were different. The moment Bibi Dong announced it, they were nearly jumping for joy. Disciples of the Pope, it was more than they ever dared to hope for. Su Yuntao had only hoped for a reward for discovering a new martial spirit, but this was far beyond his wildest dreams. His awakened child had become a disciple of the Pope. His contribution was huge. Bibi Dong looked at the excited Su Yuntao. "Deacon Su Yuntao, what reward do you want?" Su Yuntao struggled to contain his excitement. "My lady, can I have a few minutes to think about it?" "Of course." Su Yuntao was overjoyed and turned to Cece. The two whispered to each other. A few minutes later, Su Yuntao looked at Bibi Dong respectfully. "My lady, I want to be the head of the Nodding City Branch Hall." That's it. Everyone, including the elders and Bibi Dong, was surprised. Su Yuntao's request was too low. You can choose a bigger reward, Bibi Dong said. No need. Su Yuntao smiled. I don't have much talent, and my innate soul power is only level 2. I'm not going to become a powerful soul master. I'm already happy being the head of Nodding City. I'll keep doing my best for Spirit Hall in Nodding City, finding more children with potential. Bibi Dong said approvingly, excellent. Spirit Hall needs loyal people like you. I declare that you are now the head of the Nodding City Branch Hall. Thank you, Your Majesty the Pope. Su Yuntao said quickly, bowing respectfully. All right, I'm going back to Spirit Hall City. Bibi Dong led Jiang Chen away. As Jiang Chen passed Su Yuntao, he paused. Su Yuntao, thank you. Page 63. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Su Yuntao, unsure of what Jiang Chen meant, quickly replied, it's my duty, sir. After the Pope left, Cici snuggled against Su Yuntao, beaming. Tao, you're amazing. She said. Inside the spacious, luxurious carriage, Bibi Dong asked Jiang Chen, we'll be in Wuhuan City soon. Do you want to say goodbye to your family? Jiang Chen considered it. I have a buddy from my village at Nodding College, he said. I'd like him to tell my grandpa I went to the Spirit Hall to study. All right, Bibi Dong said. Nana, go with him. Hulayina led Jiang Chen to another carriage, and they headed toward Nodding City Soul Master Academy, while Bibi Dong and the others waited outside the city gate. In the carriage, Hulayina noticed Jiang Chen seemed troubled. She smiled and said, little junior brother, you don't seem too thrilled about having our teacher as your mentor. Jiang Chen forced a smile, which looked more like a grimace. No, I'm very happy. I'll be counting on you to look out for me, senior sister. I'm not sure who'll be looking after whom, Hulayina muttered. Bibi Dong seemed to favor Jiang Chen, which made her a little uneasy. Arriving at Nodding College, Jiang Chen hopped out of the carriage. Senior sister, I can go in by myself. Hulayina followed him. No way. What if you try to run off again? I don't want to face the teacher's wrath. Jiang Chen had no choice but to let her tag along. Hulayina didn't go to the dorms. Jiang Chen went back to his room by himself. Jiang Chen, congrats. Going to the Spirit Hall to study is great. It's what Grandpa Jack wanted, Tang San said. Jiang Chen didn't mention Bibi Dong taking him as a disciple. Tang San wouldn't have been able to handle it. Xiao Wu watched Jiang Chen with mixed emotions, and even a hint of animosity. After Jiang Chen packed the things he had brought from home, he found Tang San again. Little San, if we ever become mortal enemies, what would you do? Jiang Chen asked seriously. Tang San was surprised, then smiled. That's not gonna happen. I'm saying, what if it did? Tang San thought for a moment. Then I'd cut you some slack once. Jiang Chen smiled too. I'd return the favor. Reaching the door, Jiang Chen turned back. Remember to tell my grandpa I'll definitely come back to see him. Tang San waved. Don't worry, go on. I'll tell him when I get home for break. Jiang Chen left, ultimately deciding not to attack Tang San. He finally understood that he already considered Tang San a friend. Maybe they would fight someday, and if Tang San lost, he would be spared. Chapter 49. Bibi Dong was stunned. Outside Nodding City, the luxurious convoy moved slowly, a small black bird flying high above, accompanying them. Jiang Chen leaned against the car window, watching Nodding City shrink in the distance, his mind racing. After a while, he sighed to himself. Deciding to make the best of it. Joining the Spirit Hall might not be so bad. The Spirit Hall would definitely give him the best resources to help him get stronger quickly. He thought about his training, realizing that every time he absorbed a spirit ring, he'd have to endure a tribulation. He resolved not to hold back. Thinking this, his mood lifted. He needed to figure out how to get stronger quickly in the Spirit Hall. Seeing Jiang Chen staring out the window, lost in thought, Hulayina nudged him. Little brother, are you sad to leave home? she asked. Jiang Chen looked away from the window, turning to sit down. A little, he said. Don't be sad, senior sister is your family now. Hulaina said, patting his head. Jiang Chen felt a little awkward. It felt strange to have an 11 or 12-year-old girl pat his head like that. But he didn't want to be rude, especially since Hulaina was his senior sister, and he might need her help in the spirit hall. Bibi Dong was pleased with Jiang Chen's reaction. She smiled and said, Chener, I heard you were born with full soul power. Have you gotten your spirit ring yet? If not, I'll arrange for some strong individuals to take you to hunt soul beasts when you return to Spirit City. Jiang Chen hesitated. Teacher, I already got my first spirit ring. Bibi Dong looked surprised. With your talent, you must have absorbed a century-old spirit ring, right? She asked quickly. She was concerned. What kind of teachers could there be in a small town like Notting City? If he was misled and absorbed a 10-year spirit ring, that would be terrible. Jiang Chen shook his head. It's not a century-old spirit ring. Bibi Dong's smile faded, and a look of disappointment crossed her face. Hulaina also looked at Jiang Chen with pity. Let me see your spirit ring, Bibi Dong said. Jiang Chen's martial spirit wasn't bad. Even if his first spirit ring was a bit weaker than others, she thought, with her training, he could still surpass other geniuses. Besides, the age of a spirit ring wasn't impossible to increase, though it was difficult. Page 64. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Seeing Jiang Chen's hesitation, Bibi Dong reassured him, don't worry. Even though you only have a 10-year soul ring now, if you train hard, I'll find a way to help you improve it later. Jiang Chen was surprised, not expecting Bibi Dong to think that way. With a wry smile, he released his soul ring. His zombie spirit only manifests a spirit ring when he possesses someone. He hadn't possessed anyone at the spirit hall before, so Bibi Dong hadn't seen it. Of course, the soul ring could be released separately, without activating the martial soul. At Jiang Chen's mental command, a purple soul ring rose from beneath his feet, gently floating around him. The powerful figure in the spirit hall was stunned, her beautiful face going blank. Hulaina gasped, covering her mouth, her eyes wide. This was unbelievable, a 1000-year first soul ring. How was that possible? Bibi Dong knew more. She knew that when twin martial soul users grew stronger, their second martial soul sometimes had a 10 or 100-year first soul ring. Or passing special trials could also improve a soul ring, but Jiang Chen must have been only level 10 when he absorbed the spirit ring. She'd never heard of anyone absorbing a 1000-year spirit ring at level 10, unless he wasn't human. Teacher, my soul ring is actually 1000 years old, not 10, Jiang Chen said. Seeing the Pope, normally so imposing, looking so dumbfounded, Jiang Chen fought back a laugh. He knew Bibi Dong's personality. Offending her would not end well. Bibi Dong realized she'd lost her composure and immediately regained her serious demeanor. Showing such surprise in front of her disciples would damage her image, but inside, she was reeling. It was simply too unbelievable. Chener, tell me, how did you absorb that spirit ring? Jiang Chen had already prepared his explanation. He didn't hesitate. Teacher, I was born with a strong body. Before absorbing the spirit ring, I was already incredibly strong. It was painful to absorb, but I managed it. You just recklessly absorbed a 1000-year soul ring. Didn't the academy teacher stop you? Bibi Dong sounded annoyed. What kind of teachers would let a 6-year-old absorb a 1000-year spirit ring? That was a disaster waiting to happen. He could have exploded. Seeing Bibi Dong's anger, Jiang Chen felt a surprising fondness for her. Well, I was alone at the time, and I stumbled across a dying soul beast. I didn't know how old it was, so I just absorbed it without thinking. Jiang Chen's face flushed. The lie was terrible, but Bibi Dong and Hulaina seemed to buy it. What other explanation was there? Bibi Dong pulled Jiang Chen closer, examining him closely. The more she looked, the more pleased she became. She had truly found a treasure, innate full soul power, a physique stronger than others, and able to absorb a 1,000-year soul ring at 6 years old. His talent surpassed even her own twin martial souls in some ways. She turned her hand over, revealing an exquisite gold-rimmed ring. "This is a gift from your teacher." Jiang Chen took it curiously, wondering if it was a soul tool like Tang San's 24-bridge Moonlight Night. "This is a high-level soul tool. It has a massive storage space. Just focus your thoughts and soul power to access items," Bibi Dong explained. Smiling, Jiang Chen was thrilled, barely able to contain his excitement. He immediately put it on his right index finger and began experimenting. After a few tries, he got the hang of it and stored some of his clothes inside. "Thank you, teacher," Jiang Chen said sincerely. "You'll repay me by training hard," Bibi Dong said, gently stroking his head. Hulayina watched enviously. The ring was beautiful, and she wanted one too. Bibi Dong glanced at her, smiled, and produced a necklace. "Nana, this is for you. It has the same function as Chen's." Hulayina's eyes lit up at the crystal necklace. "Thank you, teacher," she was thrilled, liking the shiny necklace even more than Jiang Chen's gold ring. "You're both my disciples. Take care of each other, understood?" "Yes," they replied. "Nana, Chen will stay with you when he arrives at the spirit hall. Show him around, so he doesn't get picked on." "Of course, teacher. Leave it to me, junior brother." Chapter 50, Arrival at Spirit City. Jiang Chen was a little embarrassed. Living with Hulayina. He wasn't a kid, not really. "Teacher, can't I live on my own?" he asked cautiously. Bibi Dong smiled. "You're still young. You can stay with your sister Nana for now, so she can look after you." "But..." Hulayina found Jiang Chen's frightened expression amusing. She pulled him into a hug. "Don't worry. Are you afraid your big sister will eat you?" Her smile was charming, and the invisible allure was strong. Jiang Chen blushed and quickly pulled away. Page 65. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "I really hope this fox spirit doesn't try to eat me," he thought to himself, irritated that Bibi Dong and Hulayina were being so clingy. No matter how much he wanted them to back off. The convoy took 2 days to reach Nodding City, but the return trip to Spirit Hall City was slower, taking 3 days. Spirit Hall City wasn't as sprawling as the capitals of the 2 empires, but its architecture was breathtaking. Just the city wall alone was enough to impress Jiang Chen. It stood over 260 feet high and almost 100 feet thick, constructed entirely of solid granite. Once inside the city, Hulayina began to give Jiang Chen a tour. The city was hexagonal in shape, with 6 gates and soul masters constantly patrolling the walls. The streets were wide and sparsely populated, and a few shops that existed catered specifically to soul masters. As they drove into the city, Jiang Chen leaned out the window and noticed that Spirit Hall City was built around a hill. 2 prominent structures stood out on the hill. One, situated on the hillside, was incredibly majestic. Hulayina explained that this was the Pope's palace, where the Pope resided. As the Pope's disciples, both she and Jiang Chen would be living there as well. The other, smaller building was located at the very top of the hill, and was as white as jade. This was the Douluo Hall, a sanctuary for the spirits of deceased soul masters. Only titled Douluo were allowed to reside there after death. Essentially, it was their tomb. Even the Pope had no right to enter. They could only offer worship at the entrance. The soul masters in the streets appeared deeply reverent. Jiang Chen could sense the unique atmosphere of the place, likely due to the presence of the Douluo Hall, a symbol of faith for soul masters. Hulayina continued, "Shaochen, within the Pope's palace, we also have a Hall of Elders, where the elders live. They're all titled Douluo-level powerhouses. Some of them have unique personalities, so don't wander around in there, okay?" Jiang Chen nodded, "Got it." But in his mind, he wondered, the Grand Elder must be Qian Daolu. I wonder if he's in the Hall of Elders. And Qian Renxue, is she still in Spirit Hall? If she is, she'd probably be living in the Hall of Elders too. Reaching the foot of the hill, Hulaina and Jiang Chen stepped out of the carriage. Bibi Dong had instructed Hulaina to buy some everyday necessities for Jiang Chen. His clothes were truly shabby, still the tattered school uniform from Nodding College, riddled with holes from Tang San's blue-silver grass. Even the clothes he kept in his ring were worn and patched, remnants of old Jack's generosity that he couldn't bear to throw away. They were a connection to his past. When he emerged from the dressing room, the transformation was remarkable. Despite his young age, he already possessed striking features. He had looked presentable even in rags, but now, adorned in fine robes, he simply sparkled. Hulaina's eyes lit up. Not bad at all. She nodded approvingly, buying Jiang Chen a dozen more outfits without a second thought. After leaving the clothing store, Hulaina considered Jiang Chen's appearance again, shook her head, and dragged him to a barber shop. Jiang Chen was helpless, feeling like a puppet in Hulaina's hands. 2 hours later, Hulaina finally nodded with satisfaction, gazing at Jiang Chen as if admiring her own masterpiece. Jiang Chen gave a wry smile. With a senior sister as much of a perfectionist as she was, he knew he was in for an interesting time. He was a completely different person from head to toe, with his sleek black hair, eyes like shining jewels, a sharp, handsome face, and expensive clothing. It was like he had been reborn. Hulaina nodded repeatedly, her eyes bright. She grabbed Jiang Chen and said, "From now on, you dress like this, understand?" Jiang Chen nodded helplessly, relieved that Hulaina hadn't tried to dress him up like a girl. That would have been a disaster. "Let's go," Hulaina said, pulling Jiang Chen toward the mountain. A wide staircase, almost 100 feet across, stretched from the Pope's palace halfway up the mountain. Looking up from the bottom, it resembled a ladder reaching towards the heavens. The guards were heavily armed, each exuding a powerful aura that made Jiang Chen feel insignificant. The guards recognized Hulaina and allowed them to pass without delay. As they ascended the stone steps, neither of them felt tired, given that both were soul masters. "Senior sister, does Spirit Hall have its own academy?" Jiang Chen asked. "Yes, Spirit Hall Academy is the strongest academy on the entire continent. We've won the Continental Advanced Soul Master Academy competition every time. Your senior sister and I will be training there soon too." "What about me? What will the teacher have me do?" Jiang Chen inquired. Hulaina paused. "After I leave, you'll probably be training directly with the teacher. After all, you don't meet the entrance requirements for Spirit Hall Academy just yet." "What are the requirements?" Jiang Chen asked, curious. He figured the admission standards for the so-called strongest Spirit Hall Academy must be incredibly strict. "You have to reach level 30 or higher before the age of 13. Jiang Chen was surprised. The requirements were almost identical to Shrek Academies. "That's pretty high. Do you actually manage to recruit students?" "Absolutely." Hulaina smiled. As the top academy, Spirit Hall Academy attracts plenty of talented students every year. Even your senior sister and I wouldn't dare claim to be the most gifted ones there. I believe in you. After training with the teacher for a few years, you'll definitely get into Spirit Hall Academy. 10 minutes later, they finally reached the top of the staircase and entered the magnificent Pope's palace. Page 66. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The Pope's palace had everything: conference halls, the Pope's private chambers, the Elders' Hall tucked away deep inside, and tons of training areas. "So, senior sister, where do we crash?" Jiang Chen asked, a little suspicious since Hulaina hadn't mentioned anything about his room. Hulaina giggled. "We're the teacher's personal students, silly. We stay in the Pope's bedroom, of course." A few minutes later, Jiang Chen stood speechless in a pink, dreamlike room. Chapter 51, Qianren Xue, tweaked a few things, don't freak out. Hulaina saw Jiang Chen gaping at the doorway and pulled him inside. The room was drowning in pink decorations, a huge pink bed, sofa, curtains, you name it, roses everywhere, too, and the air was thick with a sweet fragrance that smelled just like Hulaina. "Master. Senior sister, where am I supposed to sleep?" Jiang Chen stammered, totally lost. Hulaina pointed to the big pink bed. You take the inside, and I'll take the outside. Seriously? I'm a guy, remember? Jiang Chen instinctively clutched his clothes tighter. Hulayina gave him a playful once-over, then leaned in close, her breath tickling his ear. You're still a baby. What, you think your senior sister's gonna eat you alive? That her warm breath made his face burn crimson, and he jerked his head away, mentally cursing the vixen, but then he remembered he didn't really need sleep. He could just find a good spot to practice all night and catch a few Z's during the day. He breathed a sigh of relief. You're such a goofball, junior brother, Hulayina said with a flirty giggle. Jiang Chen realized with a shiver that she was looking at him like he was some kind of plaything. A bad feeling started to bubble up in his stomach. He had a sneaking suspicion he was about to be tortured by Hulayina for the next few days. But that's a story for another time. Hulayina shrugged off Jiang Chen's reaction and started to take off her coat. Been too long since I've had a shower. Gotta go get comfortable. And don't you dare peek, kiddo. Like I'd waste my time. Jiang Chen muttered under his breath. He heard her singing in the shower, so Jiang Chen got up to wander around. Suddenly, he had an idea. He'd explore the Pope's palace. The Pope's palace was a maze of mini palaces, pavilions, little bridges, and streams. Everything looked the same, and Jiang Chen quickly got lost. He was sure he was retracing his steps, but he just kept getting farther and farther away from where he started. Eventually, he had no clue where he was. He remembered Hulayina mentioning that there was a weird old coot in the elders' hallway in the back, and he started to panic. What if this old guy was a total psycho? He'd be toast. He didn't want to think about it anymore, so he quickly called out to the little black bird in his mind. The little black sparrow had stayed outside the city gates, and at his mental command, it immediately took off towards the Pope's palace. Just then, Jiang Chen heard shouting in the distance, making him jump. Someone was practicing. Then he remembered that the Pope's palace was full of training areas, so it made sense that someone would be working out at this hour. He was just going to stay put and wait for the little black sparrow, but then he heard a young girl's voice, and something inside him told him he had to go take a peek. Peeking at someone else's training was a major no-no, but once the thought popped into his head, he couldn't shake it. It was probably her, one of the girls he admired most. His feet moved on their own, and he couldn't help but walk toward the sound. He passed through an archway and found himself at the edge of a martial arts arena. He stood in the doorway, quietly watching the girl practice her spirit abilities. The girl looked about the same age as Hulayina, with short blonde hair that hung neatly to her ears. Her skin was like snow, and her delicate features were even prettier than Hulayina's. However, her figure hadn't quite caught up yet. She was wearing a tight golden outfit, and what shocked Jiang Chen was that she had 3 soul rings shining around her, 2 yellow and 1 purple, 200-year rings and 1,000-year ring. This girl looked to be about the same age as Hulayina, and Jiang Chen knew that Hulayina was only 11 right now, and her cultivation was still only around level 20. But the girl in front of him had already broken through to level 30 or higher. On the girl's back, the clothes were torn open, and a pair of white wings stretched out. Behind her, there was a huge phantom. The phantom's face was hidden, but unlike the girl, it had 3 pairs of 6 wings. It really is her. Seraph spirit, Qian Renxue. Jiang Chen thought, a knot of anxiety forming in his stomach. Who's there? The girl shouted, whirling around to see Jiang Chen standing at the edge of the arena. The moment she saw that it was just some strange little kid, her eyes flashed with anger. Her wings fluttered, and she shot toward Jiang Chen. The first soul ring on her body lit up, and a powerful golden light gathered in her right fist, turning it gold and radiating a terrifying holy aura, as if it could purify and dissolve anything. Seeing the menacing look on Qian Renshue's face, Jiang Chen knew he had to run. The raw power of her punch made him jump. The gap between them was huge, and his poison might not even work on her. He sprinted toward the archway. Qian Renshue's beautiful eyes glowed gold, the second soul ring on her body lit up, and a pair of ghostly wings appeared next to her pure white ones. She became even more ethereal, and her speed skyrocketed. Feeling the energy surge behind him, Jiang Chen knew he wasn't going to make it to the doorway. which was still several feet away. He gritted his teeth, and without warning, he veered sharply to the right. Qian Renshue stared, dumbfounded, as the kid seemed to vanish right in front of her. She hadn't really wanted to hurt him, and she was already starting to pull back her punch, but she hadn't expected him to suddenly change direction. Qian Renshue stopped, the light fading from her fist. She turned to face Jiang Chen, who was now standing a short distance away, and asked coldly, "Who are you?" Page 67. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At first, she thought Jiang Chen was just a regular kid she could easily scare, but it turned out he was more than met the eye. Jiang Chen, oblivious to Qian Renshue's initial intentions, felt a pang of unease seeing the coldness in her eyes. He thought fast. "Hey, miss," he said, trying to sound lost and innocent, "where am I? I wandered off and can't find my way back. Could you point me in the right direction?" Jiang Chen was laying it on thick, playing the cute card. His pitiful act would melt the heart of any maternal soul, but he slipped up. 1 minute, he was coolly dodging Qian Renshue, the next, he was a helpless child. Anyone else might have bought it, but this was Qian Renshue. She was sharp. She caught every flicker of his expression, every twitch of his muscles. Nothing escaped her notice. The golden light around Qian Renshue's fist flared up again, like a miniature sun, radiating a force that made Jiang Chen's heart pound. "Last time I checked, we don't have any kids your age hanging around the Pope's palace. So who are you? How did you get in here? Talk, or you're toast, toast, with that." Qian Renshue, wreathed in golden light, advanced on Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen's face fell. He instinctively backed away, then finally spat out, "I'm the Pope's new disciple." Qian Renshue paused, then sneered, "Great, just great. Being her disciple makes me want to beat you up even more." She shot forward. "Oh, man, this is bad," Jiang Chen thought, as he booked it. Chapter 52, Piggy Face Redux ***. Why did the mere mention of the Pope send Qian Renshue into a rage? Jiang Chen knew Qian Renshue and Bibi Dong didn't exactly get along, but he didn't think it was this bad. He glanced back and saw Qian Renshue bearing down on him, a manic look on her face and that golden fist glowing. The light felt like facing down Tianlei all over again. He wasn't sure he could take a single punch from her. Her presence was getting closer, sending chills down his spine and igniting a burning pain throughout his body. Time to scram. He veered sharply, narrowly avoiding Qian Renshue's blow. Qian Renshue was floored again. How did this kid keep dodging her attacks? Actually, her punch wasn't full force. The glowing golden light was just for show, but it seemed to be enough to spook the kid. Interesting. Let's see what's so special about her new pet. The golden light in Qian Renshue's eyes intensified, almost blinding Jiang Chen. Jiang Chen weaved and dodged a few more attacks, making a beeline for the archway again, but Qian Renshue had already caught on. Jiang Chen realized, to his dismay, that he was cornered, and it seemed like Qian Renshue was getting faster, like she was figuring out her flying skills on the fly. Bam. Jiang Chen couldn't react in time. Qian Renshue's fist connected with his shoulder, sending him staggering and tumbling across the ground. He grunted. Qian Renshue's soul skill was designed to eat away at soul power. It was invading his body, rapidly dissolving his own power and causing excruciating pain. Qian Renshue stopped, worried she might have broken him. But in that moment of hesitation, Jiang Chen scrambled to his feet and bolted for the exit. That little punk is cheating, Qian Renshue thought, and immediately got mad. "You're not getting away." She spread her wings, flying even faster than before, the golden light on her fist blazing. Since she didn't think the last attack had phased Jiang Chen, she decided to up the ante, vowing to give him a taste of what was coming. And maybe take out some of her Bibi Dong-related frustrations in the process. Jiang Chen, unaware of Qian Renshue's internal drama, sensed that her speed and the energy emanating from her were escalating, and his heart sank. The force that had invaded his body was already agony. A few more punches like that, and his soul power would be completely erased. "What's your problem? Why are you even chasing me?" He spun around and shouted. Qian Renshue didn't answer, and her fists didn't hold back. Amid Jiang Chen's protests, she landed a few more blows. Worse, Qian Renshue was now targeting his face, zeroing in on his cute little features. The soul power in Jiang Chen's body was draining fast, his face was throbbing, and his anger was rising. Was Qian Renshue really this arrogant? He was deeply disappointed. Driven by fury, he stopped dodging, turned, and met Qian Renshue's fist with his own. Lightning fist. Electric arcs crackled around his fist, making it look pretty impressive. Qian Renshue was surprised and reflexively added more power to her punch. Bang, both of them went flying backwards. Qian Renshue was stunned. Even though she hadn't gone all out, the force she'd used was still enough to stop any ordinary soul master. She hadn't expected Jiang Chen to be strong enough to knock her back, or that his punch would leave her knuckles tingling. Guess that's what happens when you train with her. She had a newfound respect for Jiang Chen, but that only made her want to teach him a lesson even more. Page 68. You are listening at novelfull.audio. She'd resented Bibi Dong's coldness for years, so when she saw Bibi Dong's disciple, she saw an opportunity to strike back. All her life, she'd craved that woman's attention and affection, only to be met with disgust. She never understood why. Now, she wanted to unleash her pent-up frustration. She wanted to show off to Bibi Dong, to prove her own strength. Would Bibi Dong feel anything besides disgust? Would she be angry if her disciple got hurt? Poor Jiang Chen had no idea he was a pawn in their game, and a brutal beatdown was coming his way. After the first punch, Jiang Chen took off, running for his life all over the training arena. Qian Renshue blocked the exit, the 10-meter-high fence offering no escape. Just as he was about to summon his spirit, Qian Renshue landed another punch. Jiang Chen suddenly gained speed, barreling straight into the thick wall before he could even think to turn. The wall, made of some kind of iron-hard stone, nearly concussed him. Qian Renshue froze, staring at Jiang Chen clutching his head on the ground, a confused look on her face. How did he suddenly get so fast? And why did he run headfirst into the wall? Did he think he could break through it? Even I can't break that wall. Dozens of thoughts raced through her mind. Finally, seeing Jiang Chen in such a sorry state, she stopped. Like Qian Renshue, Jiang Chen was still reeling. He had gotten a sudden burst of speed and strength. Under her relentless attacks, a memory of a powerful technique, 3,000 thunders, flashed in his mind. Then, he met the wall. Hard. Damn, that was dumb. He stood, cradling his forehead. Are we done fighting? Can I go now? He was furious, but knew he was no match for her. If he could beat her, he'd pin her down and give her a piece of his mind. Seeing Jiang Chen's face turning purple, Qian Renshue burst out laughing. Her beautiful face bloomed with a smile. Normally, Jiang Chen would have been mesmerized, but right now, her smile just made him angrier. Realizing her mistake, Qian Renshue instantly composed herself, her expression turning cold and serious again. Go back and tell your teacher that if she wants revenge, she can come find me herself. Swallowing his anger, Jiang Chen turned and left, using his little black sparrow's eyesight to navigate his way back to the Pope's palace. He understood now, he was getting punished for whatever was going on between Bibi Dong and her daughter. What does your mother-daughter drama have to do with me? Jiang Chen thought, nearly weeping. How could he face anyone looking like this? His head was even more swollen than after Tang San's beating. To add insult to injury, his soul power barely helped with the healing. He lingered outside the palace, too embarrassed to go in. To arrive and immediately get beaten to a pulp was humiliating. Junior brother, where are you? Hulayina called out as she stepped out of the palace, spotting Jiang Chen trying to hide. Chapter 53 Bibi Dong's attitude, please vote. Hulayina hurried over, shocked at Jiang Chen's swollen face. Are you junior brother? She asked, uncertain. Jiang Chen looked so terrible that Hulayina almost didn't recognize him, but when she saw his clothes, she knew it was him. A surge of anger flared within her. She had just taken a bath, and now Jiang Chen looked like this. How could she explain it to their teacher? Bibi Dong had told her to take care of Jiang Chen and make sure he wasn't bullied, and now, so soon after arriving at Spirit Hall, he was a mess. She was furious. "Tell me, who did this to you? I'll help you get even." Her voice trembled with fury. "Master. Senior sister, I just got stung by a bunch of wasps," Jiang Chen mumbled, feeling guilty. Qian Renxue wanted him to get Bibi Dong involved, but he couldn't bring himself to do it, he'd just have to chalk it up to bad luck. "Really?" Hu Laiina asked skeptically. "Really," Jiang Chen nodded. "They were huge wasps. A whole swarm chased me." With his face so swollen, Hu Laiina couldn't tell if he was lying. "Okay, then let me heal you." Hu Laiina gently placed her hands on Jiang Chen's face, channeling her soul power to heal the injuries, but she was surprised to find a stubborn force beneath his skin. Even with all her soul power, it would take time to dissipate it. Those wasps were probably spirit beasts, Hu Laiina concluded. She pulled Jiang Chen up. "Let's go see the teacher. She'll know what to do." Jiang Chen sighed inwardly, knowing that Bibi Dong would instantly know who had done this to him. Hu Laiina led Jiang Chen straight to Bibi Dong's study. Bibi Dong looked like she'd just bathed. Her long golden hair was loose, and she was wearing casual clothes, having shed her usual majestic pope's robes. Seeing Bibi Dong's stunning figure, Hu Laiina felt a pang of envy. Despite her own beauty, she paled in comparison to Bibi Dong. "Teacher," she said. Bibi Dong, who was focused on correcting paperwork, looked up and saw Hu Laiina and Jiang Chen. Page 69. You are listening at novelfull.audio. "Chener, what's wrong?" She hurried over, kneeling down to stroke Jiang Chen's face. "Teacher, he said he got stung by a wasp," Hu Laiina offered, worried Bibi Dong would blame her. As his senior sister, she felt responsible for protecting him. If Bibi Dong wanted to punish her, she'd accept it. Jiang Chen avoided her gaze, knowing Bibi Dong must have recognized him. "You went to the elders' hall?" Bibi Dong asked gently. Jiang Chen nodded. "Tell me everything that happened." Jiang Chen recounted the entire story, ending with Qian Renshue's words. "That's outrageous. Xiaochen, take me there, and I'll get revenge for you," Hu Laiina said, face flushed with anger, ready to drag Jiang Chen back. Jiang Chen pulled her back. "Senior sister, no. That girl's already a soul master." Hu Laiina's expression faltered. She gritted her teeth. "So what if she's a soul master? That doesn't give her the right to go around hitting people. We're not pushovers, you know." "Okay, Nana, this isn't your concern. Calm down. I'll help Chener heal," Bibi Dong interjected. After telling his story, Jiang Chen had been watching Bibi Dong, but her face remained impassive, which puzzled him. Bibi Dong channeled her soul power into Jiang Chen's skin, quickly dispelling the soul power Qian Renxue had left behind. With her power as a tidal Douluo, that was no problem. After a moment, she withdrew her hand, conjured a bottle of ointment, and began applying it to Jiang Chen's skin. The ointment was miraculous. The pain vanished almost instantly, and more than half the swelling disappeared, leaving a cool sensation. After applying it, Bibi Dong stood. "It should be back to normal by tomorrow." "Thank you, teacher," Jiang Chen said. Without Bibi Dong, his recovery would have taken much longer. "Teacher, you have to do something about this." Hu Laiina exclaimed. Bibi Dong glanced at her. "You want me, a tidal Douluo, to go after a soul master?" Hu Laiina opened her mouth, but couldn't find the words. Suddenly, she looked determined. "Xiaochen, take me there tomorrow. I'll get you justice." If Bibi Dong couldn't act, it was up to her, his senior sister. Anything less would disappoint both Jiang Chen and Bibi Dong. Jiang Chen was touched. "Senior sister, it's okay. It was just a little scrape. She didn't hit me that hard. Nana, stay out of this, and stay put. Understand?" Bibi Dong ordered. "Okay, teacher," Hu Laiina conceded. Bibi Dong turned back to Jiang Chen. Chinner, that girl's only 11, and she's already at level 38. It's no shame losing to her. Go back there again tomorrow. Jiang Chen was shocked. He knew Qian Renxue was talented, but level 38 at 11? It was inhuman. Hulayina was equally stunned, feeling the gulf between herself and the other girl. Bibidong continued, your spirit is an attack type. An attack type soul master can't be afraid of getting hit. In the meantime, you need to learn to take a beating. You're going back there every day, and when you get back, I'll heal you. Jiang Chen was speechless. Fight every day. What kind of training was that? He could accept that if it was just any soul master, but Qian Renxue. Her talent was insane, with her already at level 38. It was a 20-level difference. He'd just be a punching bag. Teacher, can't senior sister practice with me? Jiang Chen suggested. Yeah, teacher, I can. That girl was brutal, beating up my junior brother like that. Hulayina chimed in. Bibidong shook her head. Nana, you're a control-type soul master. You're not suited to training with Chinner. That girl is a better fit. She looked back at Jiang Chen. Understood. Seeing Bibidong's serious expression return, Jiang Chen had no choice but to nod. If you want to become stronger, you must first learn to take a beating. Wise words. Chinner, you can go back now, Bibidong said. After Jiang Chen left, Bibidong turned to Hulayina. Nana, you're going to Wahundian Academy in a few days. I'm giving you a task. Over the next few days, teach Chinner the rules of survival. Help him understand how to survive in a death camp. Hulayina went pale. Teacher, are you sending the little junior to a death camp? Bibidong's expression didn't change. My disciple is destined for greatness, in strength and character. Just like you, even though you're talented, if you hadn't passed the test of the death camp, I wouldn't have taken you as a disciple. Thinking of that place, Hulayina felt a shiver of fear. It was her nightmare. Even now, she still sometimes woke up screaming. But junior brother's only 6. I only went in when I was 8, and my brother took care of me. He won't last 3 days at his age, Bibidong said firmly, whether he lives or dies is up to you. These next few days, impart some of your experience. Get him mentally prepared. Hulayina knew she couldn't change Bibidong's mind. Okay, teacher. After Hulayina left, Bibidong's expression turned complicated. That place was the best training ground. As her disciple, Jiang Chen had to go. Without the heart of a strong person, how could he ever become one? Even Hulayina had spent 3 years there, walking out on the corpses of others. Page 70. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Even though she's in love with Jiang Chen, if he doesn't develop his skills and his character doesn't measure up, she won't hesitate to dump him down the line. That's why she got Hulayina to share her experience, so Jiang Chen and Qian Renxue could pick up some combat skills. Jiang Chen was bummed. Having to team up with Qian Renxue again? What kind of training is that? But he couldn't defy Bibidong's orders. He figured Qian Renxue hadn't actually killed him before, so he cheered up a bit. Whatever, let's just get it over with. It'll be annoying at worst. Plus, I can use Qian Renxue to hone my 3000 Thunders technique. And when I get back, Bibidong will take care of me, so it's not a total loss. Thinking about it like that, Jiang Chen's spirits lifted. He remembered the sudden burst of speed he got when Qian Renxue was chasing him, and his eyes lit up. That's when I must have gained a new understanding of 3000 Thunders, Jiang Chen thought to himself. He didn't go back inside, deciding to try it out right then and there. Unfortunately, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't recreate that moment. His face showed his disappointment, and he regretted not letting Qian Renxue chase him a little longer. Oh well, I'll have her chase me again tomorrow. Maybe after a few more tries, I can get that feeling back. When he returned to the room, Hulayina was already back. Seeing Jiang Chen looking all messed up, Hulayina was a little disgusted and quickly pushed him into the bathroom. Don't even think about going to bed until you've showered. Hu Laiina's voice echoed into the bathroom, and Jiang Chen was speechless. He wasn't planning on going to bed anyway. After cleaning up, he came out to find that Hu Laiina had already prepared the meal. The waiters delivered 3 meals a day to their room, which Hu Laiina had told him about before, so he wasn't surprised. The food was delicious. The teacher is sending me to a death camp? What kind of place is that? Jiang Chen asked, surprised. Hu Laiina put down her chopsticks, and said seriously, it's where Spirit Hall trains its best. If you make it out alive, you'll become one of Spirit Hall's most important assets. But surviving isn't easy. With your current abilities, you'd be dead in minutes. Isn't Wahundian Academy supposed to train geniuses? Why is there a death camp? Jiang Chen wondered. Hu Laiina shook her head. It's different. The main goal of the death camps is to toughen up their minds. The graduates are decisive and tough. One of them is worth 3 academy graduates. Jiang Chen was curious. Senior sister, did you kill a lot of people there? Hu Laiina nodded. I was there for 3 years and almost died 9 times. I killed 20 people my age. Only 3 of us passed, and I was one of them. So going in is a real long shot, especially since you're so young. She looked worried. She really liked her little junior brother and didn't want to see him die. Jiang Chen wasn't concerned. Seeing Jiang Chen's nonchalant expression, Hu Laiina couldn't help asking, aren't you scared? Yeah, I'm terrified I'll accidentally kill everyone in there, Jiang Chen joked. Hu Laiina rolled her eyes. If you go in there with that attitude, I guarantee you won't last 3 days. Jiang Chen stopped smiling and said, then senior sister, why don't you give me some tips? Hu Laiina said, here's my experience in a nutshell, trust no one, and always be on your guard. Jiang Chen took it to heart. He was confident in his abilities, but he wasn't arrogant. After eating, Hu Laiina began to meditate. Xiao Chen, if you want to get strong, you need to work hard. Come on, let's train. She was already sitting on the bed, and her pants were pulled up a little, showing off some nice legs. Senior sister, I'm used to practicing in wide open spaces. Jiang Chen fled to the balcony. Their room was on the 2nd floor, and their balcony was on top of another building. Jiang Chen sat down and looked back at the balcony. He let out a long sigh of relief. A natural charmer like her could easily get to anyone. He knew Hu Laiina wasn't doing it on purpose. She was just born that way. Hu Laiina followed him, stood beside Jiang Chen, and asked, is this the first time I've ever met someone who likes to train outside? As soon as Jiang Chen turned his head, Hu Laiina jumped back, startled by his appearance. 2 white fangs were exposed, his eyes were black as ink, and his sharp nails shone. Senior sister, don't be scared, my martial soul is made for training in the moonlight. Hu Laiina came over curiously, reached out and touched Jiang Chen's teeth, and said in surprise, so it's true. Xiao Chen, those teeth aren't for biting people, are they? They're for biting people, and they're highly poisonous. Hu Laiina suddenly took a few steps back. She had heard Jiang Chen say that his martial soul was poisonous, but she didn't realize it could be released through his teeth. Alright, I'll leave you alone to train. Just remember to go back to sleep when you're tired. Hu Laiina jumped back onto the balcony and returned to the bed to practice.